High on a wall of bare gray rock, in the cold thin air near the top of a mountain, there is a small patch of white that should not be there. Look closer, and it moves. It is an animal, pure white, shaggy, unhurried, and it is standing on the face of a cliff so steep, so sheer, that a trained rock climber would need ropes, bolts, and a very good reason to be there. This animal has none of those things. It just walks across it, calmly, as if the near vertical rock beneath its feet were a garden path. And it does this, in some of the harshest weather on the continent, every single day of its life. And no, this is not a trick of the camera, and it is not stuck up there in a panic. It climbed there on purpose, and in a moment it will do something that looks utterly impossible. It will leap across a gap in the rock, hundreds of meters above the ground, and land dead sure-footed on a ledge barely wider than its own 2 feet. This is the mountain goat, and it may be the single greatest mountaineer on planet Earth.
Now, the first surprise is that it is not really a goat at all.
Despite the name, this animal isn't a close relative of the goats in a farmyard. It sits alone in its own branch of the family tree, more closely related to antelope-like animals like the chamois. It lives in the high mountains of western North America, the Rockies, the Cascades, the coastal ranges, often above the point where the last stunted trees give up, in a vertical world of rock and ice and screaming wind. And the question that has fascinated people for as long as we've watched it is simply, how does a heavy hoofed animal cling to a wall that nothing else can? The answer, as with so much in nature, is in the feet, and it is a genuinely brilliant piece of engineering. A mountain goat has a cloven hoof, which means each foot is split into 2 separate toes, and the outer edge of each toe is a hard, sharp shell of keratin, the same material as your fingernails. That hard rim can catch and balance on a ledge no wider than a coin, biting into the tiniest crack or bump, exactly like the edge of a climber's shoe. But the real secret is on the inside. Tucked within that hard outer rim is a soft, rubbery, slightly hollowed-out pad. And that pad does 2 things at once. It flexes and molds itself to the exact shape of the stone, gripping by pure friction like a sticky rubber sole, and because it's slightly concave, it presses down and grips almost like a suction cup on smooth rock. Hard edge on the outside, soft grip on the inside, on all 4 feet. It is, quite literally, wearing 4 rock climbing shoes that it never takes off. And there's more. Those 2 toes on each foot can spread apart, wide, to wrap around a knob of rock, or squeeze together to pinch a thin edge, working like a pair of pincers, or a climber's hand closing around a hold. Add small rear dew claws that dig in like brakes on the way down, and you have a foot that can grab, pinch, edge, and cling to almost anything. But the feet are only half of it. The rest of the animal is built for the vertical, too. The mountain goat has a low, heavy, muscular body that keeps its weight pressed close to the rock, and immensely powerful shoulders and front legs, so strong it can haul its entire body straight up a rock face, pulling itself over ledges the way you'd pull yourself out of a swimming pool. Its balance is so precise it can stand square on a spur of stone the size of a saucer, thousands of feet in the air, and calmly look around. And perhaps most importantly of all, it appears to feel no fear of heights whatsoever. A drop that would freeze you or me solid is, to a mountain goat, simply the view. Watch one actually move across the mountain and it will steal your breath. Going up, it climbs in deliberate, powerful pulls, but coming down, which for almost any climber is the truly terrifying part, a mountain goat will bound down a near vertical slope in a series of short, precise, controlled jumps, its eyes finding the next foothold a fraction of a second before its hooves land on it, dropping down the cliff like water finding its way over rocks. And then, the showpiece, a full leap across an open gap in the rock, all 4 feet in the air over a lethal drop, landing balanced and still on a ledge on the far side, as though it were stepping over a puddle. Just stop for a moment and picture that. A heavy, white, shaggy animal, standing perfectly calm on a knife edge of rock against a gray sky, with 1,000 feet of nothing falling away beneath its feet. Entirely at home in a place that would kill almost anything else that tried to follow it. And that word, follow, is the key to the first great reason it lives up here. Because up on the sheer rock, the mountain goat is almost untouchable. The cougars, the bears, the wolves, the wolverines that hunt these mountains are powerful, deadly animals, but they cannot climb what a mountain goat climbs. Where the rock turns vertical, they run out of holds, and the goat simply keeps going, up into a world its hunters cannot enter. The only real threat from above is the golden eagle, which will try to knock a young kid off a ledge, but for a healthy adult, the cliff is the safest place on the entire mountain, precisely because it is the deadliest place for everything that wants to eat it. It has taken the most dangerous terrain in North America and turned it into a fortress. That is also why the newborns are born up here, on the cliffs themselves. A mountain goat kid comes into the world on a narrow rock ledge, and it does not get weeks to find its feet. Within minutes it is standing. Within hours it is following its mother along ledges and up rock. Within days it is climbing and even playing, springing off boulders and outcrops, practicing the one skill that will keep it alive. And watching over it is one of the toughest mothers in the animal kingdom. Female mountain goats, the nannies, are fiercely protective and socially dominant. On this mountain, it is the females who rule, and they will use those short, sharp black horns without hesitation to drive off anything that threatens their young. If an animal that scales sheer cliffs on 4 built-in climbing shoes and raises its babies on the edge of a 1,000-foot drop is the kind of impossible creature you want more of, do me a quick favor and subscribe. There is a new wild survival story here every single week, because there is one final twist to the mountain goat, and it turns everything you've just heard on its head. Because for all its incredible skill, the thing most likely to kill a mountain goat is not a cougar, and it is not a bear, and it is not an eagle. It is the mountain itself. Out here, the greatest danger a mountain goat faces every single day is a simple fall. A wet rock, a patch of ice, a loose stone that gives way, a slab of snow that breaks loose into an avalanche, and even the finest climber on earth can lose its grip and drop. Studies of these animals find, again and again, that falls, rock slides, and avalanches kill far more mountain goats than every predator combined. Think about what that means. This animal climbed up here to escape the things that hunt it, and in doing so, it moved into a place so unforgiving that the ground beneath its own feet became the deadliest hunter of all. Its safety and its greatest danger are the exact same cliff, and on top of that it has to survive the weather up there, which is its own kind of war. Winters near the summits can plunge to 40 or 50 below with winds strong enough to knock a person flat. The mountain goat does not come down to escape it. It stays, all winter, high on the mountain, and it survives because of that thick white coat, a double layer of dense wool beneath long guard hairs that traps warmth against its skin like a living sleeping bag. That coat does 2 jobs at once. It keeps the animal alive in cold that would kill almost anything, and its pure white color hides it against the snow from the very eyes hunting for it below. So look at it one more time, that patch of white, high on the sheer gray rock, calm in a place of falling stone and screaming wind and lethal drops. It is not a stunt, and it is not a mistake. It is an animal that took the single most dangerous place on the mountain and made it home, climbing on hooves built to grip the ungrippable, wrapped in a coat built for a war with the cold, raising its young on the naked edge, living every single day, one careful step away from a fall, and choosing that life anyway, because up here at least nothing else can reach it. So if this impossible white mountaineer got under your skin, subscribe. There is a new wild survival story here every week. And be honest with me, down in the comments. We look at that cliff and we see certain death, a place to be avoided at any cost. The mountain goat looks at the very same cliff and sees the one safe place in its entire world. So how differently would you live if the most dangerous place you could possibly imagine was also the only place you ever truly felt safe? Because somewhere high on a frozen wall of rock tonight, above everything that fears it and everything it fears, a small patch of white is standing exactly where it means to be, calm and steady, and utterly, impossibly at home.